Hi, my name is Beth, and you're listening to the Canna Fitness and Nutrition Podcast, where we are hanging out at the intersection of fitness, nutrition, and cannabis. Thank you so much for pressing play today. I'm Beth, your personal trainer and cannabis educator. And today, I'm going to talk about Delta-8. I mentioned this briefly in last week's podcast, and I wanted to do a whole episode about this because it's a synthetic. And it's very confusing and it is very misleading. And I made the mistake of buying Delta-8, and this is why I will never do that again. Okay, so here we go. Like a lot of people, I bought Delta-8 because it was easy, it was legal, and it was marketed as lighter and healthier cannabis. It was not marketed as a synthetic. But now that I actually know and understand how Delta-8 is made, I feel like an idiot. In fact, I didn't even want to admit to anyone that I accidentally bought Delta-8, right? Because I didn't know. I honestly didn't see anywhere. I didn't follow my own advice on making sure that it was Delta-9. I didn't read the labels carefully. I didn't look far enough into the website. I didn't look at the certificate of analysis. All the things that I said in my last episode that were really important to do, I didn't do. And that's why this happened. And after I explain some of this, you're going to feel like you don't want to make the same mistake. All right, this is going to get a tiny bit sciencey, so I'm going to do my best to keep it very simple because that's how my brain works. I don't have a science brain. I'm going to try to make this as simple as possible. Delta-8 THC. We're talking about THC today. Delta-8 THC is not grown in meaningful amounts in the plant, not in the cannabis plant. It is not part of the original cannabis plant. It's actually manufactured from CBD. Okay? Now, chemically speaking, Delta-8 and Delta-9 THC have the same molecular formula. They have the same molecules, but their atoms, remember atoms? Atoms are arranged differently, which makes Delta-8 an isomer of Delta-9. I know this is sciencey. I know these are science words. I don't even like science words. Just remember, this is what you need to know. Same ingredients, different structure means different effects and different risks. Now, here's the real secret sauce. And this is why I absolutely love being a cannabis educator, is because I feel like I know all these behind the scenes secrets that I'm going to share with you. So now you know them. How Delta-8 is made. I haven't seen this anywhere else, but I learned it in my educator course and I'm sharing it with you so that we can start to spread the word. To convert CBD into Delta-8 THC, which if you think about, like, what? Anyway, manufacturers use a chemical process called acid catalyzed isomerization. Yes, I don't even like that word. Here it is. This is what's happening. They take CBD isolate, so also not from the plant. That means that they took the CBD from the plant, put it through a chemical process to pull out just the CBD and isolate it. So it's not even part of the plant anymore. It's from the plant. They took it. And they don't even say where it came from, right? They dissolve that in organic solvents like I'm reading this word here. It's toluene, Toluene, or heptane. Heptane sounds like a fuel. They add an acid catalyst. Okay. Then the mixture is heated and refluxed for 60 to 90 minutes. Then the CBD's molecular structure is forced to rearrange into Delta-8. The result is a thick, flavorless oil. Now, I don't know about you, but I'm in it because it's a plant. I do love to inhale the plant, naturally just take the little buds and the leaves and grind them up and inhale it, and it just feels so natural. I don't want a thick, flavorless oil that's been rearranged, heated in things that I can't pronounce, like heptane, right? With an acid catalyst. Like, that doesn't sound natural at all to me. That sounds very synthetic. It sounds dangerous. I don't know all those words, but that doesn't sound good. Anyway, that's my point. My point is that cannabis is a plant. It's supposed to be natural. And what they do is they manufacture it to make it like THC, not even using THC. They use CBD. So they take a non-psychoactive part of the plant and somehow rearrange it to make it psychoactive. In the process, they've destroyed all the terpenes, all the flavonoids, so you've lost all the aromatherapy for it, all the taste and flavor of it. It removes the plant's natural buffering compounds, right? And it leaves behind something that behaves very differently in the body. Because now you've taken CBD, you've modified it, tried to make it into THC, but it's not actually THC. So how the hell is this going to react in your body? Like, how do you even know? That's what scares me about Delta-8. And that's why I feel like an idiot, because I bought it. It was a drink, and I drank it. Like, yeah, I know. So scary, right? So I won't do that again, because now I know, like I said in the last episode, that we're reading labels, we're looking at certificates of analysis, we're not to be duped. We are smart, you and me, we are smart consumers. It is 2026, we know better. I'm not out here to get duped by someone trying to make money off of fake products. This is not whole plant cannabis. This is lab altered cannabinoid. So effects are going to vary wildly. Talk about unsafe. You don't even know how that's going to affect your body. If you've been using THC or CBD or both, and you kind of have a good sense of how it affects your body, and you go take Delta-8, who knows what's going to happen? There's no way to predict it, right? Why inhaling Delta-8? Now, inhaling Delta-8 is really dangerous. It's one thing to drink it, but inhaling it, oof. Here, I want you to really consider this. If Delta-8 is produced using solvents that I can't pronounce, and acid catalyst, which sounds scary, which must be in order to inhale it, they need to guarantee that they've removed all of the solvents and acid catalysts during post-processing before you inhale it. Because they can say, the manufacturers can say they can claim that those chemicals have been fully removed, but the margin of error is real. This market, we know this market is unregulated, right? That's a big deal right now. So there's no oversight into the manufacturers making these synthetics. That means that they might not be fully removing these solvents and catalysts, which means, when you inhale, these compounds bypass digestion and detox pathways, right? They go straight from the lungs into the bloodstream, into the brain. Scary as F, right? Scary AF, inhaling these things. That's why there's so many side effects. Chest tightness, headaches, anxiety, disassociation, brain fog, nausea, dizziness. In fact, I'm just right now having a brain fart, I guess, that somebody contacted me and said that her daughter started getting really sick and wondered if she had cannabis hypermesis syndrome. And I said, there's some ways to tell. So I went through that, but I also said, let's look, what is she using? Because if this is an underage person, a college student, right? And she may have gotten her hands on some Delta-8. And that could be making her really sick. That's why this is dangerous. And that's one of the things why we are all pushing for more regulation in the cannabis space, is because it's really, really irresponsible to be selling these things, especially in places that underage people can get your hands on it, you know? And this is the whole scam, right? To sell Delta-8, companies are putting it in vape pens, right? They're spraying it onto CBD flower, which is just gross. And they're labeling it because, again, there's no regulation. So they can label it natural, they can label it legal, they can label it wellness, they can call it whatever they want, right? But spraying a chemically converted oil onto flower doesn't make it a cannabis plant. Just because you took CBD, sprayed Delta-8 on it, doesn't make it THC. Like, that's just not how it works, right? It's really just CBD coated in a lab altered concentrate. And words like plant-based and hemp-derived, they can definitely use those words, but it doesn't mean the same thing as the reputable companies that are out there using the actual plant and distilling it down into a form of cannabis that you can use. That's plant-based. That's hemp-derived, right? So it's really easy to get confused. And again, that's probably the mistake I made too. I didn't read the labels. I didn't look for lab results. I saw words like plant-based, hemp-derived, and I was like, oh, look, yeah, okay, I'll buy that. Click, right? Nope. They're not telling you the process. That's why I'm telling you the process. So you don't make the same mistake I did. Thankfully, it was a drink that I bought and I drank it and it was fine. Again, I just really don't want you to accidentally inhale Delta-8. Here's the thing. This is also something that we have to consider, right? In certain restrictive states, depending on where you are, if your state's not a legal cannabis state, you may only have access to Delta-8. It may be the only thing that's legal because of the loopholes, right? So it's important to be extra careful. There may be a higher presence of Delta-8 in your market. You may be able to find it at a gas station and think, oh, look, they can sell cannabis here, and not know. Now you know. Now you know. Watch out for that gas station cannabis, right? Delta-8 is definitely less potent than Delta-9. So if you accidentally buy it and you are wondering why you're not as high as you thought you were going to be, that's why. But I understand why people reach for it. I didn't know the difference mattered, right? And it's sneakily misrepresented, which is why I didn't catch the difference when I bought it. So what you should do, ultimately, feeling good is your goal, right? So I'm here to tell you how to reduce the risk of negative side effects. To avoid accidentally buying Delta-8, 1, read your labels. Be sure it says Delta-9 THC, has lab testing available, or comes from a reputable producer. I found that in New York, as our market has grown and now we've been legal for 4 years, I'm getting to know the brands, and you will too. So whether you're new or experienced, and no matter what state you're in, the more you use it, the more you're going to become familiar with your brands. And you'll get to know that when you see certain brands, you just know that you can trust them. And that's their goal, right? They want that too. And you want that. So it would behoove you to find brands that you love and stick with them. I mean, growing your own too. Again, depending on where you live. I mean, that's my jam. I live in New York, so I'm allowed X number of plants and I just grow it. It's cheap. It's easy. They grow super easy. You have to be a little patient and a little bit of planning, but then I know that there has been no pesticides used. I know it's all natural. I know exactly what happened to it. And I know what I'm getting. So read the labels. If Delta-8 is your only option, if you live in a legal state and an illegal state, and that's all you can get your hands on, please do not inhale it. Choose an ingestible form like a gummy, a capsule, drink, or topical. Only buy products with full lab testing if you can, if they have it. Avoid mystery bands and flashy gas station packaging. Your lungs are not a testing ground. It is not worth it. All right, let me summarize this. I know, again, this is a lot. It's sciencey, and I don't want to overwhelm you. But cannabis is such an incredible nervous system tool and regulation tool and fitness tool, wellness tool, health tool. But due to the legal complications, restrictions, and lack of education, there's so many imposters out there trying to sell you impure products that are promising the benefits of cannabis. And that is, in my opinion, criminal. They are out there trying to make a buck off of the fact that you don't know. That, again, I think that's criminal. So I'm here to tell you, I'm here in 2026, guys. We got to be smart consumers and consider all the factors when obtaining and consuming cannabis, which means respecting how it's produced, how it's delivered, and how the body actually processes it. That's part of what has made this so amazing for me to learn about. In fact, the more I learn about how it works in the body, the more excited I get. And I want that for you. I want you to understand, which is why I'm trying to simplify it, how it works in your body so that you can be excited about it too. There's still so much shame and stigma around cannabis, using cannabis. I see people all the time kind of try to hide. They look bad, they look down, they look guilty for using it. And I'm like, no, you're doing an amazing thing for your body. You're supporting it. You're supplementing your endocannabinoid system. You're doing something good. You're regulating your nervous system. That's why education changes everything. And this is one of those moments where knowing better truly lets you do better and feel better. This is why CannaFit provides the service of educating you about cannabis so that you can use it to benefit your health and fitness. If you want to work on this together, I would love to help you. I have a full 12-week program where we go through the right cannabis for you, make sure that you're using it efficiently, effectively, and correctly. Optimally. At the same time, you're working on your fitness, right? Consistency, types of strength, cardio, mobility, and also optimizing your nutrition, whether you need more protein, more fiber, more fruits and vegetables, less overeating, more, healthy behaviors. We put it all together at CannaFit. That's what we do. We put it all together. So if you'd like any more information about this for yourself, please reach out. You can email me. It's beth@cannafitnessnutrition.com. I am on Instagram. It's Beth_CannaFitnessNutrition. If this was helpful, please share it, because I really want the world to know that Delta-8 is a scam and that it's dangerous. It's a dangerous scam. Sorry, I hope I don't come across as being like super angry about it. I'm really just passionate. But anyway, have a great day. Thanks for listening, and I'll see you next time.